All right, everybody, how's it going this fine Thursday afternoon? Yes, Thursday. I know, I messed up earlier. It is not Tuesday, it is Thursday. But whatever day of the week it may be, it is time for us to check back in on the Seattle Mariners. And for those of you who may be new to my channel, because I picked up a lot of subs in the last week or so, I do make the occasional Mariners video. I am a Mariners fan, and the team has been pretty interesting to follow so far this year, so we're doing it. All right. So, the 2021 Seattle Mariners, last time we checked in, I believe we had just finished sweeping Texas. We had just basically done everything you could have hoped that we would do. And we were feeling pretty good about our chances. I think we were 2 games back of the wild card, and things were generally going according to schedule. And as of right now, well, it's not as good as it was last time I made a Mariners video. The outlook is not as bright. But one of the reasons why I wanted to wait until after the Houston series to make another Mariners video was I wanted to see if there was any juice left in the season. And fortunately, the team rallied. The team put it together for the last 2 games of the series. They ended up winning the series, 2 shutouts in a row. Absolutely incredible stuff from the pitching staff. And these last, I believe, 28 games do matter. But there were some setbacks. And I'm not talking about getting murdered by Houston 2 games in a row to start the stretch. The first 2 games since my last Mariners video, yeah, we lost by, I think, 10 plus runs both games. Absolutely destroyed, but I felt it coming. It just, I got the sense that this team was going to get roughed up a little bit after sweeping Texas. And I was like, okay, we can afford to take a couple of L's to Houston. They're better than us. They're going to win this division for sure. That's an opponent you would expect to drop a couple games to, and we did. But then we rallied. We got that last win. We won the last game of the series to at least keep our heads above water. It was great. And then we swept Oakland, and it was awesome. Everything going according to plan. We were winning the games we needed to win. We were holding serve against good teams. And then the Kansas City series happens, and it's just a soul-crushing 3 games in a row. It felt like you should have probably won all 3, at least 2 of them. Felt like you could have scored 12 to 14 runs in the first 2 games, especially, and you scored like 4. You put it together for at least avoiding the sweep at the end there, and then you gut it out against Houston 2 of 3. Easily could have been 3 of 3, but we'll take it, and here you are, 3.5 games back. So I kind of touched on this in the last Mariners video I made, but it's still the case. This team has suddenly become characterized by an ability to get players on base. They get players on base, and then they don't come home. We load the bases with nobody out, we get 1 run. Load the bases with 1 out, get no runs. Runners at third with 1 out, can't get them home, can't sack fly. Just find creative, stupid ways to not get the runner home. One of our Kansas City losses was in overtime. It was sudden death, bottom of the inning. Had a runner at third with 1 out. All you got to do is hit a pop fly to the outfield, and he's coming home, and you're good, and it's over, and can't do it. This team played well enough on offense in terms of getting on base, getting hits, drawing walks, working pitch counts. They did all those things right in 3 or 4 of their losses in this last 12-game stretch. And no, just no. Can't get the runners home. There's been a little bit of a slump for a couple of players, I think. Crawford continues his slide into being slightly below average at the plate. Still not awful. Still a, MLB-worthy bat. He's sliding a little bit. Haniger sliding a little bit. Still solid. Swinging at a few too many pitches lately, but solid. Kelnick going through a little bit of a bumpy patch, but he's young. I don't really expect anything else. But you've got Seager, who's been playing really well since, honestly, the All-Star break, but has generally been playing well. Torrens, inconsistent, but overall a solid MLB batsman. Dylan Moore seems like he's coming around a little bit. Ty France has been incredible. Who, by the way, I if you could go back in time, or if you could transplant what he's done over the last month or so to the beginning of the season, he may have been an all-star. Toro, yeah, he's cooled off because of course he was going to cool off, but he's still been awesome. Bowers, competent. Cal Riley, I'm not going to say he's been good because he hasn't, but I like what I see. I see the potential. I think he's doing the best that he can for a guy in his position. Tom Murphy coming alive just a little bit at the plate. It's not a matter of these players slumping. I don't think that's what it is. We have good players. They're playing well, but when the rubber meets the road and you need to get a hit to get guys home, they're not executing. And it's become too consistent over the last couple weeks for it to feel like a fluke anymore. So, again, that's all it is. Get the runners home. And the pitching, to talk about the pitching real quick, still pretty good. We got lit up by Houston in one of those games, and Salvador Perez just annihilated us. Basically put the team on his back for 3 straight wins. I mean, my God. But they did awesome against Houston for the most part. The bullpen, it's been stressful at times, but honestly, the bullpen overall has done pretty well, unless they're playing against Salvador Perez. We've gotten quality starts from Marco. We got a decent outing from Sheffield yesterday, actually, who's finally back from that injury, and maybe we'll find new life as a bullpen guy who can go a couple innings out of the pen. So the starting pitching, solid. The bullpen, after really struggling after we traded Graveman, is starting to play better. I think there was one game against Kansas City that they kind of gave up, but honestly, I'm not upset at much of anything the pitching staff has been doing lately. You got to get runners home. If you can only put up 2 runs the whole game, and then your bullpen gives up a 1-run lead, you're up 2-1, and then the bullpen gives up a couple runs at the end, I'm not really going to get that mad at the pen. I'm going to get mad at the offense. Why couldn't you score more than 2 runs the whole game against a Kansas City team that doesn't even have very good pitchers? Like, what are you doing? Tyler Anderson. Shout out Tyler Anderson. I thought he was just going to be an inning sponge, but he's been legitimately maybe our best. I don't want to go that far, man, but shout out Tyler Anderson, a guy who I didn't think very much of at all when we got him. Just playing great baseball. Steckenrider, Sewald, really, really quality stuff from them out of the pen. So, all things considered, if you forget about those 2 games against Houston where we got completely lit up, because whatever, we could have fielded a full roster of Ricky Hendersons and not won that game. But this pitching staff, it's been a little frustrating to watch. Some of these guys are going out there and pitching really good games, and you see the offense produce, but then nobody comes home, and you end up in this position where you're 3.5 back with 28 left, and you're still behind both Oakland and Boston, and you need a lot of things to go right in this final stretch. So the players are not playing bad. The pitchers are not playing bad overall, I don't think. The pitchers are doing their job. The hitters are getting on base. They're drawing walks, but there needs to be some bunching of hits, and right now we're just not seeing it. Now, I did this last Mariners video, but let's go ahead and do it again. The schedule is on our side. We have 3 against Arizona, 3 against Arizona, 3 against Kansas City, who I know had their way with us a little bit, but that's not a very good team, and you should be able to handle those guys in a vacuum. And then you got 4 against Oakland, and Oakland seems to be sliding. 3 against LA, and LA's mediocre. Oakland, and then LA again. So, other than the 3 games at Houston, which is going to be a struggle to win 1, and the 3 against Boston. And those are 3 very big games because Boston's one of the main teams you're chasing. It's a soft schedule. And you might have to sweep Arizona in all 6 games. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I don't. ESPN's not agreeing with my video, I guess. You might have to sweep Arizona. You might have to win all 6 games. Those are the games you just have to take care of business. Arizona is terrible. Arizona is one of the worst teams in the league. You might have to win all 6 games. You might have to honestly sweep Oakland. You might have to just bury them personally. And maybe all of this is for naught if you can't take 2 of 3 from Boston. If you can't win the series against Boston, then maybe none of this matters. But other than this Boston series, you have some very winnable games coming up that you need to win them, but you should be able to. Like Arizona's terrible. Kansas City's below average. Oakland doesn't even look average lately. LA's average. It's all in front of you still. You're 3.5 back of Boston. You got 3 games against them, and Boston's not playing that well lately. You're 2 back of Oakland. You played them 7 times at the end of the season. You're getting 6 layup games to start September against Arizona. You might have to win all 6 to really position yourself well, but you can do that. And if you can do those things, you might only need 1 against Houston, and then you have to find a way to just end the season on a hot streak. It is doable. Everything is still in front of us. I don't think we're going to catch Houston. I don't think we're going to catch New York. But if you look at the schedule, it's easy to put it together. So the Seattle Mariners start a series tomorrow against Arizona. We might have to win all 3, and then we might have to win all 3 against them next week. But the team is still playing well. The team is working pitch counts. The team is getting on base. It's going to be better when guys like Kyle Lewis get back. I think Kyle Lewis will be back soon. But there's a very good chance at the end of this season we're looking back at that Kansas City series and thinking if we had just taken care of business for a 3 out of 4 a series win, we'd be in the playoffs right now. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Go Mariners. Let's see what happens, but it all starts with sweeping Arizona starting tomorrow.